welcome back. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Austin Hancock. If you don't know me, I was in the Marine Corps back in the day. It feels like back in the day now. I was a GWAT Marine. I was in from 2006 to 2010. But to what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about real estate investing. And there's so many times that people get overwhelmed with this, and I hear all the noise about multifamily, single family. Multifamily, single family. Which way should I go? Which way should I get started? And my immediate argument right out of the gates, you guys can watch this entire video because I'm going to break it down, but my immediate argument is, do you realize what it takes to get into multifamily? Have you ever done a deal? Any type of deal, real estate. They'll be like, well, I bought my primary residence, maybe, right? Some of these people that even talk about getting into multifamily haven't even bought their primary residence. So I'm like, hey, how do you plan to run that marathon or pick up that 1,000 pounds if you've never been to the gym? Or if you run the marathon, you haven't even learned to crawl. It's not like you just jump into those types of games, right? So let's just start out by breaking things down super, what the Marine Corps tells us, dummy style, okay? So if you want to get your feet wet with real estate, you want to get started, you want to understand debt, you want to understand leverage, you want to understand how to open a company, you want to understand how to make money, you want to understand all of these things, then you probably should start where you are. And single family is the easiest to get started in because you'll learn all about loans, you'll learn about leverage, you'll learn about creative finance, you'll learn all the different ways that you can utilize single family to make money. Now, everyone's argument when it comes to multifamily is the fact that it's sold differently, right? It's sold on an NOI, a net operating income. So when it's sold on a net operating income, you could add value to each one of the units, whether it's $20, right? You raise the rents in all the 100 units, $20, and you will get a much larger return because it's based off of the net operating income. That's how it's appraised. That's how it's valued, okay? The unit at price, the property, the multifamily property actually goes up in value because you just upped rents. Now the downfall to single family is that it's not operated like that. You could have somebody paying you $100,000 in a single family house that you paid $100,000 for. They're paying you $100,000 a month, and the property will not be evaluated based off of how much you're making from it. It's going to be valued based off of the neighboring properties, what are called comps, right? What are the other properties worth? They're comparing these properties and they're trying to line them up. Is it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage? You know, how much square footage is it? How big's the backyard? Does it have a pool? Does it not have a pool? How old's the roof? All of these different types of things. So you are at a disadvantage when it comes to single family property evaluations on the backside. That's usually one of the biggest issues when it comes to scaling single family. But this video is about getting started in real estate and breaking down and killing the belief that people should start in multifamily, because I feel if they haven't done anything, no business, no knowledge, they don't have a ton of money, then you should start where your feet are, and that is single family real estate. Even if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deals in single family real estate, that's ultimately going to give you the knowledge, the energy that you can turn around and start applying it to multifamily, right? Oh, I've already done that. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I've learned my lessons. You could sell them off. You could flip it, whatever, but at least you're going to have some kind of basic background, right? And let's be realistic with multifamily. First of all, the loans on single family are evaluated different, even if it's a commercial loan, which you should all own a company, buy these professionally, and really have them under an LLC or an S corporation, and so you can build a true portfolio in a real business. But still, that even being said, the types of loans that you can get in single family, whether it's 4 units and below, that's a single family loan, even if it's commercial, and then 5 units and up, which is a multifamily loan. Those are different types of loans, and they require different types of things, different types of underwriting, different types of lenders, and ultimately, it's not a new investor's game. Okay? And then the thought is like, I'm gonna raise money and do all of these things and these components when it comes to multifamily. And so the question would still be asked is, if you have no experience, how do you expect to raise this capital? Like, you have no credibility. You have nothing backing you to your name. Meaning, I wouldn't put money with you if you've never done this before. How many multifamilies have you bought? Well, none. You know, I'm just excited, and I saw on social media that I can go in and get multifamily, and it's actually better for tax deductions. It's better for appreciation. Meaning, if I get all these units and I raise the rents, I heard Austin say on YouTube that it's going to be worth 10 times more, and that sounds amazing to me. That's how I exit and make a couple million. Sure, I agree, I understand that, but that is still not an amateur's game. And so start where your feet are, start in single family real estate, open a company, do a few deals, and see how it works, see how it functions, learn the terms, learn the debt, learn the lenders, Okay, it's more of a graduation period that you can scale to quickly, right? You can do a few deals if you're just green. This is for green people only, meaning people that have never done anything as far as real estate investing goes. Start a few deals, and if you feel like you have the connections, you've got the money thing figured out, you learn really quickly, maybe you're really smart and you start to underwrite deals very well, you can start buying these larger units, 32, 36, 50 unit, all of these things, and start applying some of the information that you've learned in single family to multifamily. Nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of guys that also just stay in single family. They're like, it's so easy. You gotta think, how many people are buying multifamily? How many people do you know that are buying a multifamily unit, right? So if that's the case, then how many customers and clients are out there? Do you know that network? Do you know all of the brokers and lenders with the multifamily? Probably not. Most of us don't, okay? Unless you're embedded into it. It's kind of a good old boys club. It really is. But when it comes to single family, you probably know almost everybody that either owns a home, wants to buy a home, or is thinking about buying a home, okay? And that would be your clientele. If you fix and flip something, you would sell that to somebody that wanted to buy their first time home. If you ended up buying rental property, you would rent that to somebody that's just trying to, get their stuff together so that they can ultimately maybe end up buying a home or getting debt on it and getting a mortgage on it. Or if you do what I do, which is creative finance, right? You buy it creatively, or you buy it with a bank, and then you turn around and sell the property, seller finance, and I carry the loan because I become the bank because I don't have to deal with maintenance, don't have to deal with all this crap from tenants. I have people that want to buy property that can't get loans, and I'll finance them for them. And that's the most passive income that you can have. But people will stay in that space because they're like, it's pretty simple. There's a lot of clients for it. There's a lot of people that want to buy these things. There's an abundance of customers, and you learn a ton that way. And let's not forget the complications of when you're scaling multifamily. If you don't have a large enough property that has 50, 100 units, then how are you going to pay property management? Who's going to be on site? Are you going to hire a property management company? There's probably a lot less property management companies that want to deal with your 50 unit than there are the ones that want to deal with a 150 unit. Think about the quality of tenant where you live. What type of person lives in an apartment versus lives in a house, right? I live in Southern California now, which is completely different from where I grew up in Oklahoma. A lot of the people can afford to buy a single family home, and they would rather go buy a single family home, even if it's a $150,000, $250,000 house, instead of living in an apartment paying $1,200 a month. That makes the rent rates go down in apartments, and so you end up getting a less qualified, lower end tenant in your apartment complexes, especially if you're buying C-class properties, right? D and C class properties. There's my very high level thought process on whether you should get into multifamily or whether you should get into single family and the reasons why. And so if you're more advanced and you're watching this video, you probably already know the answers. If you already know multifamily, then this video wasn't for you in the first place. But if you are looking to get into real estate and you just don't know which way to go, you're talking about storage units, you're talking about commercial, you're talking about all these things, you're getting yapped at by all of the stuff on social media, then what you need to do is you just need to start with what you know and what you usually can know the easiest, and that's single family real estate, okay? I'm not saying go be an agent. I'm saying learn how to be a real estate investor, where you can hold properties and then you have multiple options of what you're going to do with those, running those like a real business. Now, if you end up doing 2, 3, 4, 5 deals and you're like, I got it, I'm going to go do something else, I feel like I can graduate, I got a couple of buddies with a lot of money, and I'm going to learn and I'm going to really dive into multifamily, then good for you. And I congratulate you, and I think that's a good opportunity. You are bidding and fighting against a different caliber of person that would also be buying that multifamily, right? Sometimes you're fighting big money, right? People that will just pay massive amounts of money just for 1031 exchange tax deductions on multifamily. If you don't know what that is, look it up. And then over here in single family, you have to think, I'm more liquid, meaning it's going to sell on the market because somebody else wants to buy it, somebody else wants to rent it, or I can sell or finance it, all right? So you have more options. It's a lot more liquid, meaning you could do something with it quicker if you get into a pinch. If this multifamily over here, let's say you didn't like the debt on it, let's say you got vacancies, let's say property management went bad, let's say your partners are all falling apart, if that's what you chose to do, it will be much more difficult to sell that profitably, and it can actually crush you, okay? So understand both, understand why, but ultimately start where you're at right now. I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, make sure you leave a comment below, and I'll cover it on a video that you guys request.